So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment.
Wait for it.
Gaming?
Wait for it.
Anime?
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Eric Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is... wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wait For It podcast. I am your co-host, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, and joining me as always is your other co-host, Mr. Eric Almighty. And Eric, we are fresh off of our wonderful weekend at Bold Matsuri, and we are here with the bonus episode of What Did I Miss? June 2024. Even though we were very busy getting prepped for Bold Matsuri, it certainly did not stop the absolute plethora of news that came out in the world of pop culture here in June. So excited to talk about all that, Eric, but also happy that we have a little bit of time to kind of relax post Bold Matsuri and just take some time before we jump back into it again in September for Ocala Comic Con.
Yeah, and whatever else the future may hold, we got a lot of fun things planned for the rest of 2024. We're working on a couple things as well in development, you could say. So more on that, I'm sure, in the future. But Phil, we're kind of going back a little bit to the beginning of this resurgence of What Did I Miss? And we have two guests that were kind enough to return after going through the very early days of this revamped What Did I Miss? And really, nothing's changed except for a rigged Jeopardy. So I'm really excited for both of you to experience that. Kicking us off, though, Jordan, friend of the show, welcome back. How are you? How was Bold?
Bold was really fun. Actually, Bold is one of my favorite conventions. I really like seeing all of our cosplayers and even our Bender friends. Ivan was there. That's cool.
She wouldn't know.
That was great.
I was there.
And Philline, the person who was actually at Bold Matsuri, how was your weekend? How did that go?
My weekend was great. It was a fun time. We got to see our awesome vendor friends, got to see everybody who remembered us, which is awesome. And it was our friend Joyanne. It was her anniversary of her first convention, so that was great to see her do a full circle, and it was just awesome.
Okay. Feels like Jordan just said that, so I'm gonna think you copied her.
Joyanne is my sister.
Oh God.
That is...
Oh,
Yep.
We can't do this.
That is correct. That is correct. But yeah, I wanted to bring Jordan and Philline back in since, as I mentioned, or as Eric mentioned, they came in the very early days as we were testing this out, see how it would go, and it's been very successful. So it's only fitting that halfway through, you guys get to come back in and play Jeopardy and most likely absolutely dominate against Eric. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But for those of you that are listening to this episode, make sure you check out the most recent episode of Creator Spotlight. For those of you that met Emberte at Bold Matsuri, she was our guest here for June, and we had a lot of fun. If you also want to see a differently rigged game. Oh, actually, no, I won those games. Never mind. That went really well for me. So as much as you usually tries to rig them against me, I actually came out with a dub here in Creator Spotlight in June. But for those of you that are brand new to the podcast, or if you've never heard an episode of What Did I Miss, as we mentioned, we kind of go over any pop culture stories you may have missed in the previous month. I always typically say this way too late, so I'm going to say it right now. This is an episode that does very much lend itself to the video portion, especially later on with the game. So if you want to listen to like the beginning part of this, audio only, that's perfectly fine, but definitely recommend you switch to the video version over on our YouTube page a little bit later when we play Jeopardy. If you want to know where to find that, click the Linktree link in the show notes of this episode, and we'll tell you a lot more about that link here a little bit later. But, Eric, of course, the most important part of this game, I like to say, bringing in the stories and playing Jeopardy, those are really important, but Eric really has the most important role when it comes to What Did I Miss 3.0. So, Eric, I'm going to hand it off to you. and let our listeners, any new listeners, know what's about to happen, and also maybe refresh our guests about what we do here.
No, because our guests should know how this goes. So I'm only going to do this for any new viewer who has painfully treaded through the beginning parts of this episode, wondering what is in store. Well, if you haven't left yet, you're about to. We're about to spin that wheel. Could we just, in order, determine who's going to tell the stories? Yes, we could, but instead, we're going to spin that wheel. We're going to count 3, 2, 1, and in that cadence, we are going to say spin that wheel to very mixed and varying results. Philline, Jordan, do you need any prep time? Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can do to help you through this process?
No questions from my end, but thank you for providing those instructions for us.
Yes, I just needed to remember to unmute, so I got it.
All right, so we have...
Back like we never left.
Like we never left. Yeah, that is... It's felt like ages, but we are back. And you're probably wondering what this wheel is here for. Well, Jordan and Philline do not need any assistance with this because they are going to be masters at this. But if this is your first time checking it out, we're going to say 3, 2, 1. We're going to say spin that wheel. It's going to be a very interesting result. And then we're going to do that 3 more times. So look forward to that. Phil, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Jordan, unmute. just
Someone didn't count.
I'm gonna count, but
Just be off mute so you're ready to go.
because
All right.
I know you. You're the say it on mute girl or final girl as your podcast is called. So with that being said, 3, 2, 1.
Spin that wheel. Okay, so it was Philline. That was that was fine.
That was
All right. We are throwing it to Eric first. Woo.
Eric.
Remove all instances. Stop sharing. Do you guys hear any? Was there any sound there? There wasn't supposed to be.
no.
No clapping? Cool, I did it. Look at that. I'm on a roll other than, the stuff that's the most important, which is my recording. But Eric, what did we miss June 2024?
Yeah, so I decided to go with the trending story at the time of our recording. And to everyone's surprise, popular streamer Guy Beam, known as Dr. Disrespect, allegedly had, or initially allegedly, but now pretty much confirmed, had allegations that when he was banned from Twitch, it was due to inappropriate messages sent to a minor. If you have not seen Dr. Disrespect, take a look at a picture, and then I don't know if you'll be surprised or not. But Phil, I brought up this story because I had a feeling your take would be interesting on it. We've kind of never talked about Dr. Disrespect, but when we have, it's you've never looked pleasant about it. I'm just kind of curious regarding the state of streaming and what this news is doing, because Dr. Disrespect is with a lot of other big streamers that are having to answer for this. And I'm really just throwing that out here. Did not expect that to be the first story. So here we go. What are your thoughts on everything that happened? And do you think this is going to be the last we see of Dr. Disrespect? Or, as I'm kind of hinting at, is this going to just be a little bump in the road? Because he has a very large following base. And if you've seen the results on social media, people are going back and forth, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever this kind of thing happens, and like you said, he's got a huge following. First off, he's an asshole. His whole platform is built off of negativity, and I've never really understood the appeal. And the whole thing that really kind of that brought him into the spotlight as far as negativity first was, he cheated on his wife at a streaming convention. And that was a few years back. And it actually, if you look at the timeline, it kind of coincides with this inappropriate behavior with a minor. So people are kind of looking into that as well. So unfortunately, as we have seen with other many other entertainers, whether it be streaming, whether it be actors and actresses, whether it be musicians or whatever. This kind of behavior really does only end up being a bump in the road, which is disgusting and it's gross. But that's kind of like where we are right now, which is very unfortunate. And it seems like the people that are speaking out against him are getting more backlash than he himself is. I love the video where you can basically see where he finds out that his gaming studio that he co-founded most likely let him go. And I just love that. Again, Kendrick has taught me to bathe in the negativity and the hatred. So I am loving this downfall because, again, he is a piece of shit. And I hope that we never see him again. But I'm sure we will. Whatever the case, though, he is set for life. It's not like he has to return. So he's made enough money. He could just not do this. He could put on a different disguise. I don't know if you guys know this. The hair and the mustache aren't real. He could just turn up and be like, what would he be? He would be like, he could be like dentist mean. What's another word for disrespect? He could be like...
You try to synonym roll it.
Yeah, I really was on the spot. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But he could just return as a different streamer, and no one would really know. So yeah.
Let's see. What is the synonym?
Another word.
Disrespect.
Yeah. You look up disrespect. I'll look up doctor. So he can be physician or no? Yeah, physician. What'd you find?
Disdain.
Physician disdain. There you go. It's no. Figuring it out. He's going to take that piece of shit. He's going to take that from us.
He is, and make so much money. But
yeah.
Phil, I thought it would be interesting. And yes, you made an entire playlist after the Kendrick concert dedicated around hate. So it just felt like you would definitely have something interesting to offer. But we'll kind of throw it to our guests as well. Jordan, how familiar are you with Dr. Disrespect? Are you following everything that's happening? I know we're pretty aware of some of the same streamers, so I have a feeling you might be.
I'm gonna be really honest. I don't really keep up with these streamers, these like crazy Twitch streamers, to be honest. Like, I think I only know of like Ninja, and I barely even know anything about him. But even so, like thinking about like how these Twitch streamers are, there's gonna be like some controversy tied to them. And I think you notice it even like to YouTubers, like classic like gaming YouTubers. You see like they get these charges of like indecent like exposure, these like type of conversations they have with minors. And I'm like, I don't know what it is with this trend here that like these like famous influencers have, but it's nuts.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And Philline, are you aware of anything that's going on with this as well? Nope, she's like, nope, do not call on me.
I just had to look him up as we were talking just now. On
first glance, what do you think?
I don't know if you saw my face, but I very much went like this.
I had to Google him too, and he looks like he would be doing that. Yeah,
he looks like a pedophile.
Certified Twitch boy, certified pedophile.
Whoa.
I will say, like, based off of just like a person, not a streamer, but like in like the makeup world, for instance, like James Charles, like had the same allegations against him, and he continuously disrespects and is continuously doing stuff, but he still is very big in the makeup world. And so it's kind of like, what will it take for these people to like just stop being popular?
I agree with that too, because like I said, with like YouTubers and like famous influencers, it becomes this cycle where we cancel them for like that month, and then it just goes away. They lose their partnerships, they lose their sponsorships, but somehow it just gets picked back up again. And I don't know. I mean, these are crazy allegations though, so you never know what's gonna happen. But then again, that happened with James Charles.
Hey, whenever there's no defamation suit, there's some truth to it, and he's just disappearing for a little bit. So that should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, so anyway, inappropriate behavior with a minor. What a wonderful way to start the month of June. And
it can only be positive from here, right?
Again, all thanks to the wheel, which I am sure will make an appearance here as I talk. And in that same cadence, 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. We're going to try again. Philline took a very slow, methodical approach. Should we adopt that? Or will she speed up? Nobody knows.
Well, yeah, we'll figure it out on the fly.
Nobody knows. You'd think that cadence would be consistent, but it's not. So let's do it again. We'll count down. 3, 2, 1. Spin
that wheel.
That was one of our best to date. You did speed up a little bit there. Did a complete 180, but
all right, look at that. We're mixing it up a little bit. Usually, Eric, when one of us goes first, it's then followed by the other one of us, and then our guests go last. But no, we're mixing it up a little bit this time.
That
All right,
happened like the 2 times we did it too. I think it's like you guys and then me and Philline.
All right, Jordan, what did we miss in June?
Well, I'm not talking about pedophiles this time, so my story actually is following the release of Inside Out 2. So there was a recent article about like Pixar and how it's dominating the box office, and this is just like an award-winning animation so far. Like Pixar's always been blasting these award-winning animations for years now. But their executives actually recently said that they had no plans to ever reimagine their movies in a live-action format. Something we see a lot in Disney, of course. The chief creative officer in Pixar, Peter Docter, mentioned that he likes making these movies that are original and unique to themselves, and to remake it is not very interesting to him personally. And I kind of agree with that. While they didn't have these plans to adapt it into these live actions, I know Disney has had this success with like Little Mermaid, like The Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast, all those films that have come out. But it's always like seeing something that we like just gets pumped out. I think like Moana is even coming out in like a live action soon. And honestly, like he's even made the comment that like Pixar stories just don't really translate to live action. I mean, there's that difference that like there's princess stories that can be live action, you know, like how Disney does it, but Pixar's just so unique. And I love Pixar, so I totally agree with that statement. I've never really cared for the live action remakes of Disney. I also just think that like animations are fascinating on its own without that extra CGI. You know, those like extra 3D animations aren't really needed. And Pixar produces these original stories that can't really be matched, so I don't really foresee that same success if they ever change their mind on that. So I wanted to just open up the conversation, like, what do you guys think about Pixar's decision on that and like their statement on that?
Eric, I'll throw it to you first. Because I'm looking at the list here, and I'm failing to see which one of these could actually translate to live action.
So you guys don't want to see live action Toy Story with a de-aged Tom Hanks and Tim Allen? Is that what I'm hearing?
I want to see them in the costumes.
I was going to say, hold on now. I think see Tom Hanks.
Wait a second.
just saying. No, I don't understand how it would happen, but lo and behold, you know, I don't think we really thought we'd be getting this wave of live action Disney films, and here we are. So like 10, 20 years from now, a year from now, who knows what it could look like. But yeah, I just don't see. Maybe Ratatouille. Ratatouille would probably be a good one, but again, it opens the floodgate.
Well, we already have Raccacoonie. So
and we don't need Raccacoonie is enough, but yeah, no, Ratatouille is probably the only one that comes to mind. But you could also do something like Finding Nemo. Like if I'm just thinking and spitballing, if they do stuff like The Jungle Book and The Lion King, I mean, what's stopping them from doing that? So again, it doesn't feel natural as much as the other Disney films, but that also seemed completely out of the realm of possibility just a decade ago. So I would not hold my breath, and whatever makes money, they made a second Inside Out 2, because one of the things, could I have gone with this story instead of my first one? Yes, but Inside Out 2, probably going to break $1 billion. That is the story for this month. So that's a huge story, not only this month, but in the eyes of Pixar. They're seeing those big franchises make money. Could we see a live action Inside Out in the future? Like, again, it's not completely unreasonable.
And Inside Out 2 just surpassed Dune 2 for highest grossing film of the year, I believe. So, yeah. Philin, any of these Pixar films you want to see in live action? Do you want to see a... Let me look through this list here. Do you want to see just like a creepy live action Mike Wazowski?
Definitely not that. I feel like a Coco would be interesting.
I was actually going to throw that out there and see if I was crazy. Do you like Coco? I think visually live action could be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and then incorporating the music, I think you could find really good young talent for that, and good talent that is up and coming. I know, like, there's mixed reviews in this room for like Up, but I think that would be kind of interesting to see. Just seeing the different worlds and the balloons and everything like that, I think that would be very interesting. I guess that's the worry, like, because you make an Inside Out too, because are they running out of stories? So is this their only next thing? Because what was the last Pixar movie? Was that the Universe movie, or was it Elemental? Elemental, which I enjoyed it, but
It's a great film.
Elemental's not really that popular of a movie. I don't think that
so are
Nobody
they
asked
running?
you, Jordan. It wasn't your turn.
I just Jim looked into the camera to make sure everybody knew that Elemental is not a good movie.
So the worry is, are they running out of original stories? That's going to be their only next step.
Here's what they're missing out on, and honestly, I think what is the most obvious thing if they want to do this and make money, a sustained amount of money, stage show. Make Coco a Broadway show. Make Up a Broadway show and add music. Like that, I think that is where a lot of money could be. Now, listen, stage theater isn't as mainstream, but I think if you, I mean, look at The Lion King, it's still running on Broadway. You know what I mean? And obviously, and that's something totally different, but like that could work. Like you could add music to Inside Out. You're on mute, Philin. If you were trying to add something, I think maybe something changed in your settings too. But yeah, I think that would be Toy Story could work in a stage play. So
Yeah,
that would,
then
if
you
they
just
want to do
hired-
like live action. Go
Hire
ahead.
Northwest for all of the parts for the.
There you go. Northwest is ready to go. She's ready to go.
she's ready to audition. She's in line right now for these. No, I do agree though, Phil. Like a stage play of like all these like Pixar movies sounds like a good idea. I mean, like I would love to see Coco, like a stage part of Coco, you know, like how beautiful would that set be? And like you see the success of Hamilton, we see the success of all these Broadway shows still going on. When they go on tour, everyone gets this huge excitement for it. It's like, how can we see a Pixar translate into that?
Eric, all I'm saying is get Rascal Flatts on Broadway to sing Life is a Highway.
That's
6 shows a week, baby.
And that's just how they finish out their career. No,
Just Rascal Flatts on Broadway doing Life is a Highway 6 nights a week, man. I am for it. But honestly, like looking at all of these, A Bug's Life I think could make a really good stage play. The Good Dinosaur sucks, so you can't make a good thing out of anything. The Good Dinosaur, but yeah, I honestly think that is what they should do. That's not going to happen, but yeah, you make a good point, Eric. Like you said, like a few years from now, who knows? Live action Coco has been greenlit, and I think it's just a matter of picking the right one. Like you said, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, that does make sense because of the other animal films they have done. Wall-E, I think, obviously would make a really good stage play, but
Wall-E would be a killer
yeah.
live action film.
I do want to say I'm told this is totally different, but or totally unrelated. But Vulture has Coco ranked 17th on this list of Pixar movies out of 28. By the way, they have it ranked 17th. So
What's number 1?
Wall-E.
Oh, okay.
So let me see who is the author of this list, so we can
now
dox
you have
them.
now you have to run through the whole list.
Tim Grierson and Will Leach. Your days are numbered when you come across this. Obviously, number
Yeah,
28.
count 17 days.
Number
Just run through all 28 like as quickly as possible, and
Got
then we'll
it.
just judge them.
28 Cars 3, 27 Lightyear, 26 Cars 2, 25 Elemental, 24 Brave, 23 Monsters University, 22 Good Dinosaur, 21 A Bug's Life, 20 Onward, 19 Cars, 18 Soul, 17 Coco, 16 The Incredibles 2, 15 Luca, 14 Monsters Inc., 13 Turning Red, 12 Inside Out 2, 11 Finding Dory, 10 Up, 9 Ratatouille, 8 Toy Story 4, 7 Inside Out, 6 Toy Story 3, 5 The Incredibles, 4 Toy Story 2, 3 Finding Nemo, 2 Toy Story, and then number 1 Wall-E.
I don't
I hate-
agree with that.
I'm going to be
I
honest
just-
with you. I didn't really like Elemental, but it's way better than A Good Dinosaur and
I
Monsters
was just reading the
University.
comment. I'm like,
Dinosaur.
And
Good
Brave.
Dinosaur was like
I think it's better than
Onward,
Brave.
Elemental.
It's better than Onward.
Onward.
It's better than Onward. I think it's better than Brave.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
I do understand Elemental's not a top 5 Pixar film. I know that. I understand that. But 25 is... I just went into a
And-
blind rage after that. I didn't
And
even
people
hear half the
hate
list.
Toy Story 4. I like Toy Story 4 more than the average person. But to have it at number 8 is crazy.
To
In the
have it
top
above
10.
Coco.
Have it above a lot of these movies is wild. So, there you go,
I think I heard
Internet.
you say The Incredibles 2.
The Incredibles 2 was number...
Yeah, that was up there, right?
16. No, it was in
Right,
the middle.
right above Coco.
That
Right
really
above
does not need to
Coco.
be
That's
in
a-
this
Incredibles 2
list.
that's a crime.
sucks.
It's not good at all.
It is terrible. People
I-
were just excited because it came back. That's yeah.
Everyone
I know-
comments on that article.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Very.
it was updated 10 days ago. So after Inside Out 2 came out, looks like. So yeah. So there you go. Be mad about that. Pixar stage plays. That's where you should go. Eric, two more people left to share stories
Yes.
this
and
month.
could we just ask one of them to go? We could, but that's not what we're going to do because here on What Did I Miss, we spin that wheel and we say 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. In that cadence. How this is going to go, so far, I think we did our best one on that last one. But we can still tweak it a little bit. So let's try our absolute best here. I'm going to count us down. 3.
Flynn's on mute.
Wait, I don't see it.
You don't see the wheel?
I don't
There
see
is
the
a wheel here.
Well, I
the
see the wheels, so let's just count.
Okay.
Well, the
Well,
The wheel
just
is
let me
here.
know who it is.
Okay.
Okay. I
3.
we just lie.
2, 1.
Spin
that.
wheel.
Wheel.
All right, Flynn went back to the original approach of as slow as possible.
It's
And it is
Flynn.
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 And
All
we
right.
didn't lie.
We didn't. Yeah, the sound effects still play for me for some reason. So, but it's okay. I'll sit with that. Flynn, what did we miss in June?
Okay, so I wanted to talk about, wanted to go into my horror roots over here with my Terrifier t-shirt on. I wanted to talk about it has been released that the Megan universe is expanding, and they have released that they are not only making a second movie, but now they are making an erotic thriller that is dated for 2026. It is going to be called Soulmate. So it looks like it's going to be centering on a man who acquires an AI android to cope with the loss of his recently deceased wife. The film synopsis explains, in an attempt to create a truly sentient partner, he inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate. So again, that is dated for January 2nd, 2026. And again, they still have not started the second film of the Megan franchise. So it's just kind of interesting that they're already starting to expand this universe. And it kind of just made me think, like, I don't know if I'm just biased because I love the horror genre in general, but does it kind of seem like for horror, does it just seem easier for them to continue a universe and just expand on it? Or does it seem like they're very consistent. I mean, like, for me, I continuously watch sequels and prequels and universes of horrors, and like I continuously love them. I love all the universes that I'm invested in horror. So what does it kind of seem like? Does it seem like horror in general is just easy to maintain and easy to keep, the quality of, or what do you guys think?
So I'll go first here. I think what it is one thing that helps is with horror, people are going to be less nitpicky. So with like all these Marvel films, whenever there's like a continuity error, like there is a synopsis on Reddit, like a dissertation or a Twitter thread, people are like, this is why this doesn't make sense, and Doctor Strange would have never done that, and that is why I think they're given a little bit more grace, and I think you also get very attached to those returning characters. I mean, look at the Scream franchise. Like, anytime a legacy character returns, like it's a huge deal, and we see them a lot less often than we do like characters from other universes. I think it's also very different in the MonsterVerse because it's just giant monkey, giant lizard. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool whenever you get to see them. So as opposed to with these superheroes, everybody is like, well, that's not how they did it in the comics, or what does this mean? What does that mean? So like Eric with last month's story, we're glad that you don't necessarily have to keep up with every little project. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I enjoyed Megan. Again, 30-minute film. It's on YouTube. It's great. It's really, really good. In all seriousness, I do want to go and watch Megan because my daughter really hated it. Liz really did not like it. And then I watched the kill count. I was like, this looks really fun. Same thing with Abigail. Like, I'm excited to watch that later this year. And also make sure you get the spelling right. It's mate, number 8, TE. So this whole universe, expanding, I think is pretty cool. So Jordan, what do you think? Because now we're seeing, now on the heels of the Pooniverse, Eric, it seems like everyone is doing this.
Well, I am like Philline. I love like horror, and like we're huge horror fans. Hence the Final Girl podcast. But we've seen like Maxine's coming out next month. Actually, like the start of like Pearl and X. I feel like now that I think about it, I never realized like how many horror like series there are. Like, we're huge fans of Saw, Scream. I love Friday the 13th. There's
Spiral.
Halloween. Yeah. It's like pretty cool to see like how like it's expanded, and I think I wouldn't say it's like because it's easy to just expand on it, I think it's just that like once like a movie really sticks, like The Conjuring was a really popular one, people want to see more of it. I think that's the difference between like horror fans is like once we find something that we really like I really like paranormal horror, so I'm like a huge fan of The Conjuring. Like, I just want to see more stories similar to it, and I think that's like where those fans go. Like, there's these cult followings of these cool movies, and it could be just like slashers, people just getting cut up and bloody, and we still love it. We still eat it up like no business.
Yeah, Eric, I think, to throw it to you, I think horror is also in a very healthy spot right now. I mean, you're seeing the resurgence of these franchises, but you're also seeing a lot of newer films, like a Totally Killer or a lot of slashers returning to form, and they're really high quality. So I think for a long time, and Philin and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, there were a lot of horror films that were just really poor quality, bad writing, bad special effects, bad acting. And that's kind of turning a corner now where there's a lot more focus on the quality of the film. So Eric, even though I know you're not the biggest horror fan, you will find yourself, looking into, I mean, there's a big list of horror films that are coming out this year. Are any of those on your docket? And also, what do you think of the Megan universe expanding?
Yeah, Longlegs is one that I'm hearing a lot of great things about. Nicolas Cage apparently putting in a just best performance, as far as like recent memory goes. So that's a lot of the talk I've been hearing about. But trailer wise, I wasn't sure. So I'm kind of just going off of vibes. And for me, I just like Phillin's in all of these universes and all of these things. Like, I just can't. I just can't dedicate the dedication she's given to the Saw franchise after 3 or 4, like just to get to, I mean, again, finally, the last one was apparently fantastic, and I do want to check it out, but like that's such a journey I'm not willing to make. There are some that I am holding off on and want to join, like Terrifier. I definitely want to check that out. That is one on my radar. But an example that I'll give for why I think horror movies are doing so well is The Strangers Chapter 1 came out this year. And I watched the first Strangers. I really liked it when it first came out way back when. No idea what this is about. Audiences apparently didn't either, and they didn't like it because critically and audience-wise, Rotten Tomatoes, the scores are very low. It's like 20-something critically, 40% audience. This movie, though, had an $8.5 million budget and made over $40 million. And to that point, these horror movies do not cost very much to make. And that doesn't mean you can't make a good horror movie, because a lot of movies have low budgets and perform very well. But I think that's what gives horror that edge when it comes to being able to not only make new stories, but to continue those stories. The Pooniverse, Phil, a great example. We're getting a whole universe on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, out of all the damn films, and it got a sequel. So I think that just says a lot about where the horror genre is and some of the benefits of it. But it's definitely not for everyone. For me, Megan, I'm never going to watch that movie. Never, so none of it means anything to me. I have no interest in checking it out, but I do hear people like it, and that's good. But is it an all-time classic like that I have to watch? No. So if you like horror, I understand why you check it out and why you might want to continue. If you're new to horror or you're not big in it, I just don't see the reason to.
And to also just like add Eric's comment about like horror being like pretty low budget, like a fun fact actually, Halloween was like one of the like lowest budget like horror films of its time. I think they thrifted a lot of the things for Halloween, and like one of the bigger actors was like Jamie Lee Curtis that they got, and that was like where most their budget went. And look where it's been now. Like it is expanding and a favorite for everyone.
Yeah, because what's most important about horror really, it's atmosphere and it's storytelling. And if you get those two things right, you can skim on some other stuff. You can go to a thrift store and buy your props. You know what I mean? You can do that if your storytelling and your characters are interesting. That's why I think it's such a great genre, even though like I can't jump into it the way that I want to for personal reasons. But I mean, look at the Conjuring universe, and again, those are also all over the place in terms of quality. But that is still going strong. And I think just because of the nature of the type of stories that they tell, that's why it's a little bit easier to get away with the cinematic universe, even because there's so many subgenres. Like the Pooniverse is not for, I'm assuming, for Philline and Jordan, but it's good that it's out there. Like campy horror is fantastic, so it's good that those things exist out there. So I think I think it's a good thing. And will I probably see Soulmate? No, but it's not a bad thing that it's out there. Who cares?
Yeah, and I will say, like, for instance, like, just developing new stories, too, like, this new movie that just came out this year called In a Violent Nature, that whole movie is shot in the perspective of the slasher, of the killer, which is so cool to me. Like, I haven't seen it personally, but
That's one on your radar, right, Eric?
Yeah.
It was. And then I heard, other than one, probably the best kill of the year, which is, that's great to have. Other than that, it's very boring. So I have enough reliable sources to let me know that it might not be my movie. But, Philline, like, you love elements of horror and getting to see it from that perspective. Like, those slow moments that I might see as boring, you'd be, like, soaking up something in the background or like a visual effect that's being leveraged. So again, for a cinephile that loves horror, I could absolutely see them loving it, but it's just not a casual horror movie, and that's kind of what I've come to learn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but horror, again, like I said, in a very, very healthy place, and I think that's a good thing. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Philline? Sorry, I cut you off there. Okay, cool. All right, Eric. One more time for the road.
It could be anybody, and by anybody, there's just one person left.
Is it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be? We're gonna find out I'm going to count us down one last time. My favorite part of the episode. Final time.
Nervous.
We're going to go for it. On 3, 2, 1. Spin
that wheel.
Oh, Flynn. God.
I don't know. I can't. I'm following. I think there's a lag.
There's definitely
Probably
a
is
lag.
a lag.
One of these days, Eric, we'll have
It's Phil.
everyone's internet speed and ping will line up, and we'll have a glorious moment. Today is not that day, but it's okay.
I don't think
So,
that day's ever coming.
It's a perfect
Today
time to ring
ain't
our
that
guest
day.
speaker, our other guest speaker, Phil. Not this Phil, but another one.
Who? Who are you talking about?
Because it's... Never mind. The joke's gone.
You
Just go on
ruined it.
mute. All right.
You ruined it.
So for my story, I have that The Last of Us could run 4 seasons, according to its creators. The first season of The Last of Us, of course, received a ton of praise on HBO for how well the series adapted the iconic Naughty Dog game. Season 2, which is currently in the works, will obviously be adapting the second game in the series, but don't expect that entire game to be crammed into just a handful of TV episodes, according to creator Craig Mazin. He's told Deadline, "We don't think that we're going to be able to tell the story even within 2 seasons because we're taking our time and going down interesting pathways, which we did a little bit in season 1, 2. We feel like it's almost assuredly going to be the case that as long as people keep watching and we can make more, and we keep making more television, season 3 will be significantly larger, and indeed the story may require season 4. During the same interview, Mazin went on to double down on the idea that The Last of Us would last longer than 3 seasons. He hinted that there will be so much story left after season 2 concludes that there's almost no way just a third installment would be enough. He explained, "One thing is absolutely for sure. I don't see how we could tell the story that remains after season 2 in one more season." Also, kind of just on the opposite end of that, I am kind of getting a little bit into didn't make the cut territory, but it worked out perfectly since I'm last. Arcane will be ending with season 2, but it's the first of many stories to tell in the League of Legends world. Arcane is just the beginning of our larger storytelling journey in partnership with the wonderful animation studio that is Fortiche, said co-creator Christian Linke in a statement. "From the very beginning, since we started working on this project, we had a very specific ending in mind, which means the story of Arcane wraps up with this second season, but Arcane is just the first of many stories that we want to tell in Runeterra." So we're seeing kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum here. So if they were going to do this, guys, I feel like you could have made the first game 2 seasons. So split both games into 2 seasons each. Season 1 and 2, game 1, season 3 and 4, game 2. Now, did they know it was going to be this big of a success? Maybe not, but you should have expected it if you were confident in your product. And then on the opposite end with Arcane, we are so excited, and we've waited 3 years for this show to return. And I know, a lot of people were bummed to hear that the Arcane side of it's going to end. But we're seeing these stories like if they're going to end and that we're going to be happy with the ending, just cut it. Stop it right there. And we talked about this a little bit, even though we're not League players. Like, there's so many interesting characters in the League of Legends universe for stories to be told. Like, we have probably seen just the tip of the iceberg as far as non-League of Legends players and when it comes to what they can explore in this world. So I'll throw it to you first, Philin. So on one end of the spectrum, we're seeing The Last of Us. I don't want to say drag it out, but like maybe they've just they haven't planned this as well as they should have. And then on the other side, we have Arcane saying, the Arcane creator saying, this is where we're going to end it because we're confident in the story. So what do you think about those two, the way that these two projects are kind of heading?
I think for The Last of Us, I think it can go good and bad. I think that Ellie becomes such a very complex character in the second game. Like you see so much of her growth and see so much of what she's battling with, that I think that it could go for 2 seasons. I understand like just wanting to get her character right and getting her the complexity of her and the new characters that come in. So I think it could work. I hope that that's what they're tailoring towards, is going towards just understanding the bigger characters and her growth. So I think that will work well. And we've seen it with season 1 that we were so worried about her but all of those worries went away. So I think I trust it. I do. With Arcane, I also trust that they are making the right decision to shorten it, that they're not going to push these, just like we were saying about Disney, like they just want money, but they're not doing that. They're not just going for the bag. They're wanting to end a story so that we get the best parts of what we're getting. And who knows what could come next. I'm assuming that's under the Valorant thing, right? So are we gonna get a Valorant story?
It's just a whole TV show of people getting destroyed in a video game. That's just the whole thing.
While
Kids are
walking.
calling you slurs
While
and
just
yelling
walking,
at you.
no sprinting. Yes. So, Eric, I'll throw this to you next. Philline did make a good point, because there are going to be a lot more characters from season 2 on for The Last of Us, and disregard Abby, who obviously is going to be a huge part of it. But we're talking Dina, Lev, Jesse. Tommy plays a much bigger role in this story. So we're talking about, and then I can't even remember the name of Lev's brother. I'm not finding that on this list. So we're talking about a bunch more characters that have a lot more integral parts. So I get that they're extending it, but like, do you think 4 is too much, or just like Philline, are you just kind of trusting the process?
Well, I think there's 2 things to kind of consider, right? I mean, that first season, I think they did need to finish that story. I couldn't think of where they would have cut that into a half season without it feeling cheap. Where season 2, I mean, it's we could argue, I guess, maybe memory's not serving me right, but it felt like a pretty clear-cut 3-cut story, right? Without getting into spoilers for the game, for those that are show exclusive, there is a big moment that happens very early on. I don't know whether or not at that pace they can make that a season, but if they were to expand on the world, the game is very big on factions. They could probably give us a little bit more with characters we don't get to spend a lot of time with in the game, and then lead us to that big moment. We get one of the big things about the game is that you spend a ton of time with Abby. Is it out of the question to spend a whole season with her? I don't think that it is. And then inevitably a clash for the 4th one. And we're also assuming it stops at 4. The Last of Us Part 3 could completely change that. But for what they do have content for now, I mean, I could see how they get to 4 seasons, also considering that these shows are not like, 12, 13, 15 episodes. It's probably going to be 8 or 10 or less, right? And that's kind of like that Game of Thrones formula. So I think it'll work, but they got to really tell some interesting stuff. And as we learned with the first season, for every interesting thought that they executed, there was one that was a little less interesting. And I think that was the give and take with season 1 when it came to stuff outside of the initial story.
And then when it comes to Arcane, what do you think? Happy that, again, they seem to have a nice, tight story that they want to tell, and then they're going to move on to other characters?
Yeah, sad for sure, but if that's the story they're prepared to tell, we didn't even know we were getting in a fantastic season 1. We had no clue what it was about, so I'm okay with them doing that. Phil, I think we talked actively about like Shogun. I want to check out that first season. I don't love that it seems like because of the popularity, despite there not being any content to pull from, again, they covered everything from the original story in season 1. They've greenlit 2 more seasons. So could that turn out to be good? Yes. But a lot of times they do seem to be greedy. And unfortunately, a lot of companies have presented themselves like that. I'm glad that with this kind of deal between the creators of Arcane and Netflix. It doesn't seem to be that, and that is a breath of fresh air.
For sure. And Jordan, you kind of went through, the Last of Us Part 2 experience with us when the game came out. So I love talking about that game, love the game in general. So, again, what do you think as far as the decision to extend the story? Eric and Philline definitely making some good points.
I think it's really interesting, and I'm kind of 50-50 about it, like I used to be a huge Walking Dead fan. You never know, like with these zombie stories, like people kind of drag it on, and I'm like skeptical. I'm like, I hope they don't drag it on. I hope they are a little bit smarter and do keep it more interesting, and we like touch on those like special stories like Abby, a little bit more like Ellie, those backgrounds of like Tommy, like what we see in part 2. But I think that's just like, I'm curious to see how it plays out. I think it's cool to see how it's going to be extended. It is such a popular series. I think a lot of people who weren't even fans of the game like kind of want to even get into the game. So it's a cool way to like really introduce that universe to people who aren't even familiar with the video game. On the Arcane side too, because I started Arcane after a lot of convincing, and honestly, that was like an amazing show. Like binged it immediately. I agree with them too on that side where they're just ready to like cut it at the second season and they're tightening it up. I mean, sometimes you watch a show and you're like, I just want to know what's going to happen. I just need an ending, like you don't want to wait the 10 years to finally know what's going to happen to these main characters. And I think that's like a cool way to put it together. I mean, there's so much background with these Arcane characters. I mean, that's League of Legends, so there's all this lore about these characters already out there. So if you're already familiar with it, cool, you have a lot of background on these characters. But if not, Arcane's a good way to really get introduced to it.
Yeah, and Phil, one thing I was going to add was to that argument I made earlier. I just quickly looked it up just to double check. The Walking Dead on average had like 13 to 16 episodes. So again, 40-minute or upwards.
Hour long, yeah, 45 to an hour long.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if they just keep that 8 to 10 for that, I think that makes a lot of sense. And if you break down the anime math, Phil, we're talking...
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope. Not doing that.
Okay.
Nope. Not going to do that.
Well, that's fine. I'm sure you can figure it out.
I don't want to. But listen, I would not be, like you said, against, for those of you that do know who Abby is, I would not be against them spending a whole season with that actress, with Caitlin Dever, who I'm sure a lot of you know that listen to this podcast. I wanted to be Ellie, so the fact that she is part of this project, I think, is super exciting. She is outstanding. So we'll see what happens. All I know is we'll be seated for both of these shows. Thank goodness Arcane comes out in November because it has been a long, long time. Eric, the last time we saw Arcane fresh, Philline was still living in another state. And we went to go watch the Jaguars, coached by Urban Meyer, get destroyed by the LA Rams. That's how long it's been since we've seen the Arcane universe over on Netflix. And that's also a show I still just put on in the background because it's just so good. So, but yeah, let's transition into didn't make the cut stories. Jordan, I'll throw it to you. Did you have any that you considered before going with the one that you ultimately picked? You can just say no if you don't.
I did have 2 backups. My second backup was about the Megan universe.
No, there you go.
But no, my third one, just because it's my way of pitching the game to you, is the announcement of Hello Kitty Island Adventure on Nintendo Switch.
Butters, you said that you're on your computer all the time. Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
I don't play World of Warcraft.
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Butters, go home and download the most popular MMO. Philline, did you have any backup stories? Did you say no? Okay. I didn't see the nod. So okay. I was like,
you just
okay.
thought you were like,
yeah, I thought you were just
frowning.
like,
She's like, I'm finding one right now, actually.
Yeah. Eric, what did you have that almost made the cut?
Phil, I have so many, which is why
my God.
Which is why the choice for my first one, I didn't expect to go
Why
first.
did you go with that?
It is the most relevant one for this month, just as of
the last
48 hours.
Yeah.
But It's not just looking back. So many, so many.
Eric, just to
could've
let
made
you
a
know,
much
like we
better
all had like a
choice.
theme of like TV, movie, like expanding on the universes, you know, and then Eric's like, this guy's a pedophile.
Ah, fuck him up. All right. Probably a minor. All right. Let's just move forward. So I have a ton. I am going to read the headlines of these articles. Seriously, there's so many. Just pick like one or two you want to talk about. We do not have to talk about all of them. So there's a lot that's happened in June. Harry Potter's HBO series is going to be led by Game of Thrones and Succession alumni, which I think is really, really good sign, especially if it's going to have that HBO theme. I think it's also going to be under that banner and not Max, which is interesting. Eddie Murphy says Shrek 5 is moving forward, and so is a solo donkey movie. Man, this episode would have started off much different had we talked about that. Channing Tatum still wants to make 23 Jump Street. Phil, the story exclusively for you. Scarlett Johansson does confirm her Jurassic World casting, and she teases the movie's incredible script. She's very excited, and I can tell, so are you. It looks like Pal World is coming to PlayStation. Will we play it? I do not know. We also have Spaceballs having a sequel in the works with Josh Gad, starring Mel Brooks producing. Did you think we're done? We're not. Tom Hardy doesn't think Mad Max The Wasteland is happening. This was a prequel a year before Fury Road. With how Furiosa performed, that should not be a surprise. Phil, another story dedicated to you. Uncharted 2 is officially in development at Sony. So I'll make sure that we return to that and have a conversation. No, we're not done. Banana clicking game, Banana Beats, Hogwarts Legacy, and Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam's all-time most popular list. This is a game where you click a banana. Todd Howard rules out Fallout 1 and 2 remakes. I really only brought this up because we had that Fallout episode with Jordan, and we talked about the potential, but it has been ruled out. And the last two is that Astrobot is releasing, and Astro's Playroom received an update in excitement for the game launching. It's going to be coming out in September. I really think it has a lot of potential. I don't know if you guys have played Astro's Playroom. It is a blast. If you have a PlayStation 5, literally no reason not to play it. And then finally, Elden Ring had a DLC come out, and there's been a lot of mixed reviews, and especially a lot of spamming reviews about the difficulty of the game. This is interesting, especially because the director of Elden Ring has talked about potentially looking beginning to end having total co-op in future games. So, that was a lot. Phil, I don't think you're going to have any after this. So, you guys...
You definitely took one.
Yeah, I had to have. So, Phil, I'm going to let you go first. And any story that I just rattled off, feel free to take it.
I will take two. I'll take Jurassic, the Jurassic Scarlett Johansson news. I knew it was inevitable. Somebody made a really good point about the Jurassic franchise recently, because one of the other actors that I think is been confirmed to be in it, I'm not sure what his name is, but it was like a photo of him like working out and looking really swole for the new Jurassic movie. And let me say this. When it comes to the Jurassic franchise, Eric, who are our favorite characters? Ian Malcolm, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler. Not giant people by any means. I would even throw in Claire, who I think is a good character too, at least in the first Jurassic World and a little bit of Fallen Kingdom. We're not looking for these swole superheroes in our Jurassic films. We want grounded paleontologist nerds that overcome the odds and survive on amongst the dinosaurs. Talking's hard. The story that I had set aside, one of them was Shrek 5 and the Donkey spin-off movie, which was said by Eddie Murphy, is in the works. We knew Shrek 5 was in the works because of the end of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. By the way, top 10 animated film of all time. For those of you who have not seen it, please go watch it. And the Donkey spin-off, I think that could work. I mean, I did see some people that were down talking that why did we get another Puss in Boots movie before a Donkey film? Watch your mouth, because again, Puss in Boots is a magical film. So yeah, those are the two that I will speak on. Guys, what do you want to grab from that laundry list of it that Eric pulled?
Whichever.
Listed?
Well, let's go. Jordan and then Philline. Jordan, Any stories that you want to comment on?
I can't really remember what you talked about.
So many.
I could have sworn I told you to write them down at the beginning.
Nope.
No.
Definitely
no.
did not.
Jordan,
you
play back the tape.
Nope, can't do that right now. Jordan, you take no Fallout 1 or 2 remakes. What do you feel about that?
I feel like I agree.
Okay.
All right. Philline.
Okay, I couldn't get off mute. It was frustrating me. Okay. So I was going to comment on, I did have a backup story, but I couldn't get off mute. But going back to the Harry Potter spin-off, the Harry Potter remake, my second story was actually the Pennywise prequel that they're also working on called Welcome to Derry, and that was also going to be rebranded as an HBO original over a Max original. So I just think that's interesting that they've made this big hoopla about Max, and now they're wanting to rebrand. I guess they're saying that there is going to be a clear difference between the two. So it's going to be interesting to see what that actually is going to look like.
It's almost as if they're realizing no one gives a shit about what Max is, and they associate HBO with quality television. So, yeah, that is weird. But yeah, we'll see. Like you said, Eric, good news for the Harry Potter show that those people are going to be involved. So that's solid. The only thing else that I was going to mention is just to pay respects to Donald Sutherland, who did pass away at the age of 88. We know him very well, obviously, Philline from the Hunger Games franchise as President Snow, but also was in MASH, Animal House, The Dirty Dozen, so many more. So, yeah, legendary career, and played that character. I mean, just such a incredibly evil character so well for what was obviously a really, really sweet and pleasant man from everybody's stories that they shared after his passing. But guys, are you ready? Philline, Jordan, this is going to be new for you. I put the link in the chat, but just use your phone to pull up, because that's what you're going to need for the buzzer. So let me pull up the code.
Why do you keep sending it in the Riverside chat if you want them to do it by phone?
Well, just so they know what to type in rather than me.
Have you ever thought about sending it on, like, I don't know, the group chat that we use?
Just this is why this game is fixed against you, Eric.
Okay.
How is the size of the screen? Can you guys see?
I just needed to minimize everybody, but yeah, it looks good once I minimized everybody.
Cool. Okay, what about Jordan, Philline? You guys good?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see. I guess we'll see if you guys can see the categories here in just a moment. That'll be the most important part. But put in that code when you get to...
The categories are potato, broccoli, and celery.
No, that's not what the categories are. We're not even in the Jeopardy. You know what Jeopardy looks like. I know you do. You have to pick a character. Eric is going to take way too long to end up picking, like, a strawberry or something. Who's potato?
You were close. Watermelon. I'm a watermelon.
Right. Who's potato?
That's me.
Okay, Jordan. Philline is pumpkin. Okay,
nice.
That's fitting. Halloween. All right.
It's not Halloween.
No, but pumpkins. Halloween.
She talked about horror, so it matches.
Oh, you know what? Let me stop sharing this because I need to turn off the audio.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Ooh, it has money.
Yeah.
Awesome. Phil's paying us.
Yes, he is.
Woo!
Yep. Eric is in charge of the finances, so you make sure you send invoices to him.
Hello?
And he will get that sent out to you. All right. Can you guys see the categories?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. The categories are Duval,
Wait, no.
Believe and Believe, Ready Up, and Ask Him, Ref. So, I'm not going to tell you guys what these categories are, but you can probably figure them out. I'm going to spin the wheel to see who goes first.
See it.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, hold on.
Well, she'll see the question on her screen.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to read the question.
Yeah, so
I'm not playing. Never mind.
So, Philin, we'll help you with the categories and all that when you
Okay.
go. So, Phil just makeshifted a wheel.
It's like Wheel of
I
Fortune.
don't think that's a
All
word.
right.
Philin,
and
it's
Philin
you.
gets to go first. Philin,
Right.
can you? So you can't see the categories at all?
I think it's trying to load.
Just read
Oh,
them
that's
off.
right. Okay. The categories are, again, Duval, Believe and Believe, Ready Up, and Ask Him, Ref.
They range from $100 to $500. So, any of those categories, you have the full board.
And then, as mentioned before, do not answer. You can buzz in as soon as you're allowed to, or you're able to on your phone, but don't give an answer until I call on your name.
Okay. Let me do Believe and Believe for 100.
All right, for 100. What does Danny Rojas like to remind everyone of? Jordan.
Football is life.
Woo!
Did you make a Ted Lasso one just so I couldn't play? Just remember, I've seen
I forgot to give.
I've seen an eighth of Ted Lasso, so
Yeah,
I might be able to get
you've seen
one
the
of
show.
these. Yeah, I might
so
be able to
maybe
get one of these.
you've seen it. Jordan, board is yours.
I'll take Ready Up for 100, Phil.
All right. How many players participate in the standard game of Fortnite Battle Royale? Jordan.
100.
All right, I'd like to just say I think Fortnite should have been in the question. That's why I apologize.
Yeah, I messed that up. I will tell you the categories. This one's Fortnite. Jordan, you're bored.
I'll take Ready Up for 200, Phil.
What are the three primary building materials in build mode? Eric.
Oh God, I can't mess this up. Wood, brick, metal. I just was so focused on clicking.
That works.
Yeah,
Stone, we'll accept
stone.
brick.
Yeah, it's like a
works.
brick.
Okay. Eric, you're bored.
That was definitely a brick on the image, just for the record.
When I Google it, it says stone, so I agree that it should be
Okay.
brick.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, I mean, if these are rigged, ask him ref for 500.
Philin, are you hearing me read the questions off, at least? Okay,
And
that's
we
fine.
see
Okay.
the questions on our screen.
Okay. Oh, okay. Great. Ask him ref for 500. Who is the youngest person to ever win any WWE championship? Eric.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, no. Any? Is it Brock Lesnar?
No.
God damn it, dude.
Jordan.
John Cena.
Oh, what
No.
a bad guess.
No, not a good guess. Philin.
Paige.
Nicholas won the Raw
God
Tag Team
fucking
Championships
You're-
at 10 years old at WrestleMania with Braun Strowman. I knew that would get somebody. That's why it was a $500 question.
I hate
I forget you lose money.
so
I said any WWE championship. Eric, you're bored still.
And here I thought it was going to be Randy Orton or something. Like I messed up like that.
Yeah.
No, fucking Nicholas. You know what? Let's keep it running. Ask him ref 400.
400?
Yeah.
You do this every time we play. I just want to let you know you should start at the... All right. What arena hosted the first WrestleMania? Eric.
Madison Square Garden.
All right, Eric. Back
Man,
in
that
the
was
positives.
that was tough. I want to say I knew it. I didn't.
All right, Eric. You're bored still?
Yeah, let's keep it going. Ask him ref 300.
Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with what injury? Only exact phrasing will count for this answer. Eric.
With a broken freaking neck.
That is correct. That is correct. Won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Good job, Eric. All right. Still your board?
All right, I'm going to save the other two for confidence boosters later on. Let's go Duval 500.
every time. I just don't understand. Before Jacksonville, the city was named this due to its significance in the cattle industry. I feel like Philin and Jordan, if you really thought about this, you might be able to get this answer. But
I feel like
again,
you
there's
overestimated our Jacksonville knowledge.
I don't think so. We got 5 seconds. Any guesses? Philin, Jordan, want to buzz in? No?
We don't want to lose 500
2,
now.
1. Calford.
Wouldn't have guessed
Calford. It was named Calford before Jacksonville. Because there are a lot of cows here, a lot of cattle.
that. Tell you now,
That makes
I
sense.
would have
Crawford
moved.
Chop House.
And then they renamed it after Andrew Jackson, who had never been to Jacksonville. So Calford may have been better. Eric, still your board though.
Yeah, we're gonna get the hell away from Duval. We're gonna save that for last.
I thought it was gonna be Jags related.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I was like, Calford? That's what we're doing?
Could be a Jags question in there.
Listen, you get feedback every Jeopardy game. I have a feeling I know what category is going to get the feedback this time.
Well, everyone here is from Jacksonville, so
Calford, you're going to stick
I
with
probably
that.
wouldn't do.
You're going to stick with Calford.
Yeah, with a $500 question, yes, I'm going to stick with it.
Okay. Ready up for 300, please.
What is this character's name? Jordan.
Jonesy.
There we go.
It's crazy.
Jordan's board.
Ready up for 400.
What is the name of the cube introduced in season 5?
It's not just called the cube.
Nope.
It does have a name.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
About 5 seconds. Anybody? All right. His name is Kevin.
Damn.
Kevin the Cube.
Oh.
One of us should have known that.
Hi, Kevin.
All right. Hi, Kevin. Jordan, your board still.
Believe 200.
In season 1, Ted asked Jamie if he would rather be a lion or a panda. What does he choose? That should say, what does he choose? Eric.
I'm going to say panda. This feels like a 50-50. Damn.
Nope. Flynn, Jordan. Flynn.
Okay, then I'll go with lion.
Jordan.
Damn, it's not
you have a
either of
guess?
them. Son of a bitch.
I knew it wasn't either of them, but I actually don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
Himself. Jamie, would you rather be a lion or a panda? Coach, I'm me. Why would I want to be anything else? That's a very healthy,
I do
frame
like
of mind
that.
to have.
I haven't gotten to that season on TikTok yet.
That's the first season, so it's also like episode 2.
I was
so
gonna say, I'm like, I do remember it's
Well,
the
I
first
go in
season.
a different
Jordan,
order.
still your board.
Believe 300.
What is the name of Ted's alter ego? Eric got wide-eyed. Any guesses? In 10 seconds.
Out of curiosity, who was this for? Who was this
It should have been
This
for
is
Jordan and
really
Philip.
like challenging.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I was like, I know I haven't watched Ted Lasso, but it feels like somebody else did.
I've only
maybe.
seen it once.
All right,
on
no
Mike
guesses?
Phil, so.
That's fair. Led Tasso. Season 3. All right, Jordan, still your board.
Believe 400.
What sport was Ted coaching before coaching AFC Richmond? I'll give you bonus points for the exact type of sport, and I'll give you a bonus points for the team. Jordan.
It was American football, but
Okay.
I don't know the team.
Okay. No worries. It was college football, and he was coaching Wichita State, but I'll give you the standard points for that. All right, Jordan, still your board?
Change it up. Ready up for 500.
What was Fortnite called before the Battle Royale was introduced? Phil's just shaking her head. Any guesses? Guesses. No Fortnite historians here. I'm very disappointed. 5 seconds. Give it a couple more.
I don't think anyone else pulled up the 40-minute Fortnite history YouTube video that you saw when you built.
Oh no! It was Save the World, so I didn't have to watch any.
Oh, that makes sense.
Save the World. All right, Jordan.
Duval for 100.
This historic building hosts Bold Matsuri, which is Northeast Florida's best and largest anime convention, Eric.
Prime Osborne Convention Center. Wow.
Good job.
It's so good.
It's actually the Prime F Osborne.
Maybe you should have started.
Number 3.
Yeah, I took the F, and it's Prime Osborne, the third.
Yeah.
The third.
I thought I actually was going to get fucked from that, so I'm really glad.
It's almost as, Eric, as if maybe you should start at a 100 for a category, and maybe it gets progressively easier from there.
Yeah.
Harder from there.
That makes a lot of sense. Duval 400.
This is the daily double. For some reason, it's not popping up, but this is the daily double. So I'll give you an extra 400 points for whoever gets this. The establishment is the longest running professional dinner theater in the nation. Eric.
Oh God, I don't think I'm ready. The only one I know is the Alhambra. Is that it? Yeah,
Alhambra.
I went there once.
Yeah, I was surprised. The longest running in the entire country. So yeah, shout out to the Alhambra.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you're bored.
Well, yeah. So I mean, your advice sucked because that worked. I'm gonna go Duval 300. Actually, yeah, no, Duval 300.
This team won the Super Bowl that was played in Jacksonville. Eric.
That'd be the New England Patriots.
That was the Patriots. The first and probably only Super Bowl we'll have here until more hotels get built. So
Not even about
we're
the
getting a new
Jags.
stadium,
That's
but
not
we
our
need more.
team.
We need more hotels. Eric, you're bored?
Let's just finish up Duval for 200.
Before the Jaguars were in town, this was the name of the stadium. Eric?
This might be wrong. Altel?
Nope.
Damn.
Philline.
Shit, that was my guess.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Nothing?
Yeah.
Go Calford.
Calvert. That was my guess.
Calford Stadium. All right. Jordan, do you have a guess?
Wachovia?
Why did you guess
I'm going to take points off.
the Gator?
It was the Gator Bowl.
Hold on. Can you explain Wachovia?
Where's Wachovia? Wachovia?
I
Isn't
thought
that-
of like a bank, but like I was like, oh, what
Why
was like Wells
Wachovia?
Fargo used to be
Also,
Wachovia.
I'm curious what this building was. Was this like the first five-star arena? I wonder if that's what. Look how crazy different this looks compared to what it looks like now downtown. And it's an absolute mess.
The
So-
Prime Osborne.
No, I don't think so. All right, Eric, it is still your board.
Yeah. Well, let me try to build a lead here. Ask him Ref 200.
The WWF had to change its name to the WWE because they famously lost a court case to who? Because I missed a Y. Jordan.
The Worldwide Fund. Foundation.
The what?
Worldwide Foundation.
I can't give you that. The world what?
Worldwide Foundation. Oh, because wide's not a W. The World
No, you're so close.
Water Foundation.
Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna-
Philline.
The World Wildlife Foundation.
No, fuck!
I was like, the worldwide. What is the Worldwide Foundation?
I'm gonna pass out.
What is the Worldwide Foundation?
I had so much confidence. I fucking forgot it was with the wildlife.
It was after the third hint that Phil gave you that I realized it was wildlife, and you just weren't picking up on it.
Philline, it's your board.
Oh God.
Let's go with Ask 'em Ref 100.
John Cena and Ric Flair are tied for the most all-time title reigns in WWE history with 16. Randy Orton and who else are tied for second with 14 reigns? Eric.
Is it Triple H?
It's Triple H. Triple H. All right, Eric. Believe and believe for 500.
I'm gonna pass. Oh, also, how'd that daily double work earlier? Never mind.
I gave you the 400. I gave you an extra 4. Jamie teaches Roy to ride a bike in Amsterdam so they can go see what? I watched this episode today, so that's why it was fresh in my mind. Yeah, 5 seconds. Eric, you want to give it a guess? You're in the lead.
Yeah, I was like, I have nothing to lose.
See what he conjures up here. You know what? I appreciate you taking the Amsterdam guess, the Amsterdam part of this, and putting in a guess. It's wrong, obviously. But Jordan and Philline, any guess before I? All right, they go see the windmills.
That is close enough.
It's not. All right, so I don't know that any of you can put in wagers other than Eric, so here's what we'll do.
I'm going to bet it all, so.
Eric's going to bet it all, so I'm going to give you guys at least 100 to bet. Because there's a chance Eric blows this.
Yeah, because it's going to be a fucking Ted Lasso question or some bullshit about Calford. So.
It's not a Ted Lasso question.
I'd like to bet 100. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think you need to wager on your phones.
Nice.
Okay, cool. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
What is Disney Pixar's highest grossing film of all time?
God damn it.
And then make sure you text me your answers.
Oh, we text you. We don't add it into the app.
Yeah, because I can't figure out how to like pull up just your answers on my side. So
I was
then
wondering.
We'd all see them.
Yeah, just text me.
It's the Pixar.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I'm waiting on answers.
Yeah, I just sent mine. I am guessing.
All right. So, Eric and Philline both guessed Toy Story 3, and Jordan guessed Inside Out 2, which is still actively in theaters, so that is a guess. The answer is The Incredibles 2, $608 million.
So we all lost.
And
So
we were,
I
and
think
we were like
there
trashing
is
the Incredibles 2 earlier.
I don't know if there's any winner. I guess technically Eric won the main game.
Watermelon.
So,
I feel like that was rigged
There you
against
go.
Jordan and I. Just saying.
I thought you'd do better with the Ted Lasso stuff.
You chose like you literally did like Ted Lasso trivia. Like that shit I see at the bricks where I'm like, I don't know what those mean.
The Incredibles 2 is really the highest?
Yeah, I double checked. Yeah, and let me pull it up.
And we were talking about it too, about how it shouldn't even be like on that
Pixar
top.
movie. Yeah, that's why when it
list.
came
Yeah,
up.
the top list.
Yeah, the Box Office Mojo, and it's not even really close. Finding Dory is second at 486.
I mean, I knew it made a lot of money at the box office, but that's crazy.
I mean, remember, people have been waiting 10 years for it. So, actually 14 years. So, yeah.
that's
I feel like
crazy.
that's how Toy Story
There
was,
you
though.
go.
People were waiting for that.
Yeah.
Not 4. People didn't want Toys. But to be, actually, well, maybe they were, because Toy Story 4 is number 3, and Toy Story 3 is number 4. So, maybe they were waiting for a while, actually. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, to round out that top 5, Inside Out, the original, Finding Nemo, number 6, Up, number 7, Monsters U, 8, The Incredibles, 9, Monsters, Inc., 10. So, if you're curious, Eric, Elemental is 20th on this list. So,
It's not about how much money
A
you make.
lot more about this Elemental.
Soul didn't even break 1 million, but that was a COVID movie,
Yeah.
so that doesn't
make
count.
that up.
But,
Exactly.
but there you go, guys. Eric has, I think, 1, 2, Jeopardies in a row, so I'm going to have to change some things. That's the feedback I'll take for myself.
No, bring those Calford questions again, dude. This
Actually, it's going to be all.
It's all
just going to be
Ted
all Jacksonville, actual Jacksonville historic questions.
I'd like
I could
to
have
see
gone
the
a
next one
different
be
way.
fully
But...
Cal themed.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And now do Game
so,
of Thrones since
Jordan,
he's watching it actively. So.
Oh yeah, since Eric watches it now.
Hey,
so,
season 1 Game of Thrones. I can talk about it.
we'll do Game of Thrones. So, all right, Philline, anything you want to plug? You want to tell our audience about before we wrap up the June edition of What Did I Miss?
Next week, Maxine comes out. So excited to see that. Everybody go out to see that and support our girl, our final girl.
Yeah, Maxine looks really good. I'm not going to see it. I'll let you guys let me know if I can see it, and then I'll maybe check it out. Jordan, if you want to tell people about the stream, and then also anything else you want to plug before we get out of here.
Yeah, thanks for coming to see us at Bold Matsuri. Loved seeing everybody. But also to plug in, me and Phil stream every Thursday on Twitch. He's done playing for the Mavs. I'm done playing for the Panthers here, so we're pretty much back on schedule here. But tomorrow we're going to be streaming on Twitch, 8 o'clock.
We will not be playing. This episode comes out after our Twitch stream, so watch next week's Twitch stream. Or watch the replay of last night's Twitch stream, in which we will not be playing Sea of Thieves for a while. On stream, at least. We'll probably play it after we get done recording here, but not on stream. Actually, if you want to see some really hilarious footage, I'm sure it went down. Jordan and I will be playing Chain together.
Yes.
So that'll be an experience.
Check out some highlights, because I'm sure we're going to have them.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting time. So, folks, thanks so much for joining us for the bonus episode of June. What did I miss? Eric, actually, this one actually went pretty well, other than for whatever reason my Google Chrome being like, you're not allowed to use Riverside anymore. But other than that, this actually was ran very smoothly. So thank you, Jordan Flynn, for returning. I'm sure we'll have you back again in the future, maybe around the holiday time. And thanks so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed Jeopardy, even though you did horribly at it. But if you are a first-time listener, or if you just need a refresher as to where to find everything Wait For It podcast related, that is all in the Linktree link in the show notes of this episode. You'll find our social media pages, the most important ones to keep up with being Instagram, TikTok, our Discord page, and the aforementioned Twitch. You'll find everything as far as our entire library of all of our episodes, including What Did I Miss, and many, many more. The month of July is going to be jam-packed with so much content, so make sure you follow us. Leave 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can. It helps immensely with the algorithm. It helps get more ears and eyes on the podcast, so it would be very, very appreciative. And if this is the first episode you listen post Bold Matsuri, thanks. This was a wild one. I promise Eric and I are actually much more prepared and constructive when it comes to putting these episodes together, so make sure you check out all the rest of those. But if you find yourself wanting to get us some extra perks, see some behind-the-scenes stuff, Eric will let you know how you can do all of that.
Yeah, so of course, all the free stuff is great. You can follow us on social media. You can join our Discord. But if you want to go beyond and do a little bit of extra support, you could do that directly through our Buzzsprout page, or you could take those funds and move them to Patreon, where patrons like Stefan and Breyer are supporting the show, and in exchange for that, they are getting behind the scenes and early access to episodes like this one. So we truly would appreciate the support there, but literally anything helps. The likes, the comments, the shares, the engagements, the listens, all of the above, we truly appreciate. With that being said, my name is Mr. Eric Almighty. Phil, what are you doing? Phil, stop it. You're Godzilla. You're okay. Well, that's a choice. My name is Mr. Eric Almighty. That is my co-host, Phil the Filipino, with his Godzilla figure that he shouldn't have bought. That is our guest, Jordan. That is our guest, Philin. And please don't forget, we release new episodes every Wednesday on the podcast with bonus content on platforms like TikTok and Twitch. And all you got to do is wait for it.
So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment.
Wait for it.
Gaming?
Wait for it.
Anime?
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Eric Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.